We might currently be summing up our journey with 9 lashes thus far that I've taken tonight, perhaps with many of you, but as far as I'm concerned, I've said this in past coverage as well, door is always open. I love 9 lashes, been a favorite of mine for a number of years in the Christian rock sphere, and I love being able to spotlight longtime favorites of mine, especially on first impression listens, which is what we've taken tonight. I'm part of the 6 singles that have been released thus far, well 7 technically if you count Breaking Out, for this supposed 5th album. I hope it gets released. I hope we get to hear the other 5 singles, maybe at some point, hopefully soon. We'll see. I mean, I don't know. The band's kind of been silent lately, so I'm kind of curious to see what develops. But either way, in the meantime, right, if there is a bit of a waiting period, perhaps I can help develop or plant seeds, if possible. Right? I love being able to do that in regards to music. You know, many of you know how much I prize music as an art form. It really is my favorite of the artistic languages and the personal connection it has in my life. And with Christian music specifically, in the rock sphere, it's a good blending, right? I'm a big metalhead by choice. And being able to spotlight more Christian artists is a side goal of mine. It's something I've wanted to do. I've taken steps to that, and I certainly will in the future in terms of names that I've already cataloged in terms of maybe probing one day. We'll see. But I would love to bring it into even footing with plenty of secularized talents who I love. In terms of who I've covered on this channel, there's not been one track I haven't liked in terms of enjoyment. But, especially on the first impression basis, which is sort of a general model here in the thesis of what this channel is grounded on, in ambition anyway. But I would love to be able to maybe equalize the footing, if possible, between Christian artists and secularized artists to bring that into a grander focus. Because maybe you're not necessarily the most knowledgeable on Christian metal talents, and rock talents, to be fair. There are plenty in that scene. Again, I grew up with Christian music. The rock path I took was a bit later in life, in my childhood, but still, it's what inspired such a love with rock and metal for me as a preferred genre, and really the relatability that this type of music can produce. Rock music is deeply authentic, you know, broadly speaking, in terms of the messages it speaks to, the personal struggles in life. 9 Lashes, I really like the articulation of the lyrics. It's creatively worded re-envisioning of explicit scriptural principles in terms of biblical theology. Just to be specific on that, so nobody's mixed up. Like, what are you speaking about, like, spiritual principles? Like, is it, you know, some other religion? No, it's specifically Christian and philosophy. I really enjoy reading these pieces in regards to their depth, the relatability, and there's a good balance, too, if you're somebody that maybe doesn't come from the Christian perspective, admittedly, and you're looking at it sort of from a practical lens. I mean, ideally, again, I think the Christian perspective certainly enriches your understanding, but they're particularly explicit on that regard, so you can't not notice it. It's so significant to the structure and the philosophy of what the artist wants to teach you in terms of similar, maybe, and relatable emotions and experiences in life. They're deeply powerful songs. And I would say, again, if you're looking at it from a absent of Christian perspective, they're good practical healing songs and emotional restoration, and maybe considering the state of life, with a great pathway in terms of maybe downhill or in the experience statements followed by an uphill journey. I love the path this album's taking, and each song in regard is very familiarized in that space, but it's very inspirational. And creatively speaking, in terms of the music, strong rock emphasis has been the real mainstay of this album in every track. I mean, they have a bit of a range, you know, if you're not familiar, I'm saying a bass line here, obviously. They float around. They've done some softer songs and plenty on the harsh side, and many of you know I tend to prefer like the headbang energy type stuff, something of a more aggressiveness, and that's what, you know, set 9 Lashes running in the beginning. When I think back on Worldly View, that's the first album that I heard from them with Anthem of the Lonely, and I think that certainly got them a lot of attraction, including as well Get Back. But I've enjoyed them for years, ever since I first heard that work for myself, and with the singles I've humored a few tonight, it's been the same story. I love first impression listens. I love the experience of fellowship as well, and perhaps being able to plant seeds for new listeners. I certainly welcome the company of other, like, to me, longtime 9 Lashes fans. It's wonderful to have your experience, perhaps, and you're getting the perspective of someone who has not humored these works yet, so in that respect, it's unique for you. But for prospective listeners, I would love to be able, if I can, to help foster a love for groups that I've really come to revere over, many years. And Nine Lashes certainly deserves your attention. I'm sure that Among the Stars will also appeal in that regard, like all the other singles have tonight. And, I get a bit of a throwback vibe when I look at the song, to both maybe some tracks off of From Water to War, and especially the Galaxy album. That one really pulls in, Among the Stars. It takes on a bit of a celestial approach. Let's take a look and see where the lyrics are going in terms of the message as well as the song. I'm curious to humor it. Again, I'm having a great time of Nine Lashes. Let's expand that for temporarily our summation track of sorts. But as far as I said, in the beginning, and I continue to say this, doors open for the future. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the song. We got the visualizer to accompany, and as consistent pattern with tonight, the lyrics are provided. So unlike normal fashion, I don't have to manually input them, but I don't mind doing that. But they are provided for you if you want to read along with the message of the piece directly. They will be visible in the video, which will launch alongside the track. Now.
There's a weight no man can bear.
Okay, interesting startup. I was like, it's silent in the beginning. First I thought that my volume was off.
Coming down on us that live beneath the stars. But there's a way out
Okay,
of the woods.
softer pop flair.
Just a simple man forgiven.
Again, broad range and personality with this group.
We could break our backs alone. We could labor in the sun.
More of an electronic basis here. Okay, interesting.
High enough, we could live among the stars. But there's a resting we won't know. For the heart will still be unforgiven.
Again, explicit Christian vision. I admire that.
And all along, you were standing by our side. We carry on,
Okay,
running
this one's my favorite on music.
so we tell
I did not expect it going down the path of more of a technologically based number with a real rock vibe, but it's working for me. Even among the recessions, I like the balance here. Nice surprise. Great twist.
we are the dust in this dirty little world. We are the rust in this machine.
Well, let's be candid. I like the phrasing a lot. Again, great writing from them. I've missed Nine Lashes.
Only we could find it in our hearts to be forgiven.
Here it comes.
And all along,
Oh, man.
you were standing by
Love it.
we carry on.
On music, this is, again, I think, the most signature for me. I love it. Perfect.
So we tell ourselves at night, but deep down we know that you are home. You are home. Losing sight of the weight of our fall, running blind to die from.
And as the conclusion of the album, because this is wrapping it up, not just our journey here, but the album lineup, this is track number 12, at least prospectively, it's a great summation work.
Need you to light my way home.
On narrative, on direction, but the music just is so strong here creatively. And the synth use, mapped exquisitely. Nice guitar solo integration as well. Wonderful layering here.
You were standing by your side. We carry on, running further. We're all alone. So we tell ourselves at night,
Like rock karaoke swing. I love it. Such a good idea.
you were standing by your side. We carry on, running further. We're not alone. You are with us in the night, and deep down we know that we are home. We are home.
Furrow closure.
'Cause all has been forgiven. My heart has made its home with Christ and Christ alone. Christ alone.
In the isolation, great lingering. That's what sits. Love it. Beautiful mapping on that piece. It is exquisite. And like I said, I have a lot of respect for this group. I mean, again, I kind of float between, I'm of, two minds on this, right? I like plenty of bands, and perhaps in the Christian metal scene, there are varieties in terms of articulation of faith. Some are a little more read between the lines, a little more veiled and poetic. And there's a benefit to that in some respect, again, for broad appeal as well. But, to be direct too, it leaves you, the listener, especially to come from a like-minded perspective, or as an inspirational... Okay, let me rephrase this. For the Christian regard, certainly that just provokes my interest and respect immediately. And the way... Well, I'll get to the music in a minute in terms of structuring. I'll stick with the lyrics for, just a second to wrap it up. But I see a strength to both sides, right, in terms of that focus. There's at least primarily two different paths it might go down. The more abstractly realized and the more directly stated. And I've always admired the creativity that Nine Lashes expresses in their songs on lyrical writing and how it best mirrors the Christian philosophy and encapsulates that journey, but is still not afraid to be direct at all. So finishing a song like My Heart Has Made Its Home with Christ and Christ Alone in the rock space is just wonderful. I like it. Directly stated and meshed with such effective pacing. You start that song and you think, at first you're like me, again, it's like there was nothing, at least on the first intro seconds, you're like, is my volume off? Like, did I push the mute button or something? And then it kicks you like, okay, I'm good. So like I didn't make a technological mistake. Anywho, that's rare for me. On pacing, you think it's a bit of a softer number with a pop flair. And then the chorus comes in. And if I can give more comparables, now I'm realizing why that sounded so similar to something else that I'd heard. I'm trying to place in the back of my mind, like, what band does this sound like? And on, again, the karaoke vibe, there's two groups. I can't think of the other one at the moment. If I can, maybe I'll superimpose it, or maybe I'll struggle in the editing process to try and determine what group it is that this sounds so similar to. Part of me wants to say on vocal presence and on tone in key choice of the piece. What is it? Sent by Ravens. Love them. I miss them. Their music was great. I know they either went on hiatus or disbanded, I forget. But oh man, they were good for like their first two albums. Loved their music. This has a vibe. It does. Maybe just mainly on vocals here, I don't know, but it reminds me so much of their music. I like that point of connection. I don't know if that's what they were going for. Maybe Sent by Ravens was an inspiration in that respect, but if not, it's a coincidence. It's so similar in tone for me, at least on sentiment. But the path to that song, I love the surprise twist in the chorus. It is a more energetic song by nature. It's a great vibe. And again, Nine Lashes can appeal to different respects. Softer, harder, as far as I'm concerned, they're proficient on both sides. Or really any angle they touch, but oh man, that drive. The electronic emphasis, the synth use, the pacing on it, it worked so well for me. And then to drop off, in regards to the ending, I mean, they have one more iteration of a more emphasized chorus, right? Or two, I think, to carry on that lingering effect where it gives a sense of unity to the piece and construction, but then they drop it off in the outro verse, especially when the sentiment kicks in terms of that change in perspective of the state of life. And so eloquently written, we're all losing sight of the weight of our fall, running blind to die from these hands of our own. I love that. Great wording. Again, I come from an English major perspective, so it's one of the first things I notice. But on the direction to have, again, like that outro verse, to subdue it in presence, to make it much more sentimental, almost like along the Christian contemporary lines. You found me where I lie, set wrongs of mine to right. Again, there's the restoration, right? That's the point of, or the call to action of sorts of the song in terms of the Christian vision. And it's not afraid to be explicit in regards to the Christ attribution. I love that. Again, I got a lot of respect for Nine Lashes. And it's wonderful to cover a group like them on this channel. Finally, I got to them after how I should have been so much sooner than I am. Man, oh, I'm so behind. I will catch up one day. I keep saying that, but I'm just realizing in the moment, like, I am way far back. I know I'm late, admittedly, but still, better late than never. And for a group like Nine Lashes, it's an honor to spotlight them and perhaps share in a reverential journey with you in regards to a beautiful talent in the Christian metal scene, or Christian metal / rock. Again, it's kind of a hybrid space. There's tones of Nine Lashes that kind of hit both atmospheres, even though they lean more into the rock. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. If you wish to disclose your perspective on the piece and your angle. Longtime fan, burgeoning and emerging listener, I think that's going to be the story for a number of you. Let me know what you think down below. I loved it. Great wrap-up piece. And in terms of the album construction, it's a wonderful conclusion. Wonderful attribution in that case. And, you know, as bittersweet as it is to sum up our journey currently, right? For now, doors always open. More comes out from Nine Lashes, I'll be on top of it. We're going to enjoy it together again whenever that opportunity is, because, I mean, I can't get enough of them, and it's wonderful to reinvigorate my past love for a group that, again, I've listened to for a number of years. And to hear new works from them, finally, I've had it on my phone for long enough, just sitting there. It's exquisite to humor them on the channel and to bring on more Christian talents that are familiar to me, and to share that with you, perhaps an experience for new listeners or in longtime fans. I love music. I love that fellowship quality, and for a group like Nine Lashes, it's a very endearing journey. Especially a fabulous musical construction among the stars, in my opinion, is one of my favorite pieces on this collection. Loved it. Significant work of theirs, and I cannot wait to hear more. Thank you so much for watching this video. Before you bounce, feel free to drop a like and comment, subscribe to this channel with a ding on the bell, and share this video with your friends. And consider checking out the description here. There you'll find links to my other channels, as well as addresses to my other social media accounts and ways you can help support my work if you feel so inclined. May God bless you, and looking forward to when our paths cross again.